Today we're going to be talking about the 10 things that women over 60 should stop doing. So the first thing that we should stop doing as women over 60 is ignoring health rules. So what that means, of course, is taking better care of our health. So I'd say it's probably been about 10 or maybe 11 years ago, I had a pretty significant health scare. I had a really severe bout of AFib, which is atrial fibrillation, and mine was with a rapid ventricular response. So when I was first diagnosed with this, it's a heart condition where you have challenges, regulating your rhythms in your heart. And it can be quite dangerous because it could lead to strokes and all kinds of things. So I couldn't control it even with medication, and it would get so bad that, my heart rate would get to like almost 300. It was just ridiculous, just out of nowhere. And it finally led to me having some cardiac ablation, where they went in and basically just ablated the vessels in my heart, so that when that started happening, the arrhythmia had nowhere to go, and it stopped it. I really haven't had any problems since. But when that happened, it really changed the way I started thinking about my health. And there's all kinds of things over 60 that can happen to us. And one of the biggest things is that as we age, our cells start to mutate. A lot of people don't think about things like this, but cancer becomes more prevalent. All kinds of things change. So a lot of people think, well, I'll do my mammograms when I'm younger. I'll get those colonoscopies, a younger age. I don't like them. I'm going to put them off. You shouldn't put them off. Many of those things can be preventable. And if you can do the preventative maintenance, kind of like changing the oil on your car. We're just a bunch of old cars here. But think of yourself like a Mercedes. Don't think of yourself like a Volkswagen. So anyway, avoid, don't ignore the health rules. It's really important that you take care of your health, especially as you get older. If you need to lose the weight, if you need to start exercising, if you need to just eat healthier, maybe you're the perfect weight and you're not out of shape. But, are you eating hamburgers every day? Are you eating junk food? Maybe it's time to start thinking about how to take better care of our body so that it can not just last so we live longer, but last longer healthier so we feel better mentally and physically. Number 2 on my list is don't feel guilty when you need to take a rest. If you need to rest or you need to take a break, take it. If you want to watch a movie, watch it. Whatever. If you want to take a nap in the middle of the day, you know what? This is your life. This is your time. You've worked hard your whole life, and maybe now it's time to take a break, take a rest. Our bodies are starting to slow down a little bit, and if we can rejuvenate them, we're going to be better off in the long run. So the next one is something that I've been guilty of all my life, and that's overcommitting and feeling like I always have to say yes. So my advice to you is don't do that anymore. If you're over 60, you've probably had 60 years of doing it. So you know what? Maybe it's time to say no, or slow down, or let me think about it. You don't have to overcommit. You're going to have lots of time, hopefully, that you can do the things that other people want you to do or think you should be doing. But really, it's time that you should be thinking about what you want to do. Number 4 on my list is stop apologizing for your age. You don't have to apologize. You've earned the age you are, whatever that is and however that is. And so what I mean by that is there's a lot of people that say, oh, I know they don't really want to listen to me. I'm older. Hey, yeah, you are. That means you've had more experiences. You've learned more life lessons, hopefully. You've had more relationships. Maybe you've had more jobs. You've had, a wealth of things that you can add to other people's lives and even to your own life. So don't feel like you have to apologize because you're older and people are going to discount what you have to say. Own those feelings and, be proud of them. Take those things that you've learned and share them with others. Perhaps they'll help somebody going through something similar that you went through at an earlier time in your life. Maybe it'll help them so they can avoid the pitfalls that maybe we made as younger people. Those are going to be real blessings to people, not something that you ever have to apologize or feel ashamed of. Number 5 on my list is stop avoiding financial planning. So there are going to be people that watch this video that are going to say, but I have no money. What is there to plan? There's always something. There's always something. Even if it's just your day-to-day figuring out how to survive or how to live. But if you are at a point in your life where you're past the point of making your money or what have you, you still should always think of financial planning. So maybe that means you have, I'm just throwing a number out, $10,000 to live on for the year. You take that $10,000 and you plan it. You give it a name. You give it a category. You say, this is the most important thing. Okay, I've got to have food and housing and lights and warmth. Maybe you're going to take care of those needs first. Then take care of the other needs. Are there other things you can be doing to kind of supplement as you get older? There's all kinds of part-time jobs now that you can do as a senior and never leave your home. I mean, you can be a personal assistant for someone. You can, just do all kinds of things. And I just think that oftentimes we sell ourselves short and we think, okay, this is what it is. I don't have any more than this. I'm not going to plan. One of the things that I do every single year, no matter what, I take a little bit of money every single month and I put it in a separate little savings account. And I do that because I want to have money throughout the year if I want to order Uber Eats for my grandkids, or I want to take a trip to Disneyland with them, or whatever. We're at Disneyland and I want to buy toys for the 3 grandkids, that I'm not going to go into debt and have to worry about paying off my credit card for 3 months. I try to save every single month so that by the time December comes, it carries me through the next year. And I know that sounds kind of silly to some people, but I found that it just really works for me. I do these little financial challenges all the time. And so I've always got a little bit of extra money to just say, hey, let's do this, or let's go play miniature golf, or what have you. I like to have that little fun account to be able to do a little something with my grandkids. So make sure you don't avoid financial planning in whatever capacity that is for you. Number 6 on my list is avoid feeling like you have to retire. You don't have to retire. Just because you're over 60 or 65 or 70 or 80 or 90 or even 100. I had an uncle who lived over 100 years old. And he was the one out ringing the bell at Salvation Army. He was the one handing out food to the 60-year-old seniors every day. I mean, he found joy in life by doing things for other people. And I think that if you feel like continuing to work or serve at your church or volunteer at the local hospital or helping out at the local daycare, I mean, there's so many things you can do if you're interested. And maybe none of those things interest you. Maybe it's just time you've said, okay, I've worked 20-hour days now for the last 30 years. All I want to do is rest. Rest. My grandma did that. She had worked every single day, taking the bus to downtown LA, taking the bus home, working long hours in a factory. I mean, she did that for years and years and years. And when it came time to retire and she got her little pension and her Social Security, they downsized and she relaxed. Her goal in life was to read, and she would have books that she read every single day. She had books she was reading, and it was the time of her life. She loved it. And that was, it's all kind of a personal choice. Number 7 on my list is a very serious topic, and that is avoid toxic relationships. Now, toxic relationships can really drag you down. They can really take energy out of you. I think sometimes they can take years off your life. And, maybe when we're younger, we don't know any better. We get into toxic relationships and we try to make them work. We're worried about what other people think. You know what? As we get older, we realize we don't get a do-over. This is it. We're here for this amount of time, whatever it is. And I personally am not going to allow toxic relationships into my life. I don't want that negativity. I don't want that. I just don't want it. And I don't have it. I'm surrounded by people that I want to be surrounded by. So if you have toxic people in your life and relationships, whether it be work or kids or spouses or parents, think about how to manage them. It doesn't mean you have to cut them out of your life. Maybe you need to figure out ways to manage those things better. And there are resources, there are things that can help you, whether it be counseling or, all kinds of different kinds of help. So toxic relationships, Number 8 on my list is avoiding your personal interests, hobbies, and passions in your life. So if you're somebody who's put your desires to the back of the bus while you're helping your kids get ahead, or your spouse get ahead, or your parents get ahead, or what have you, maybe now's the time to focus on things that you're interested in. Develop your passions, develop your creativity, learn to find things that you love. Maybe you're thinking to yourself, well, I don't really have any interest. I don't really have anything I'm crazy about doing. Well, have you really ever thought about what you'd like to do if you could? Number 9's a big one, and I see a lot of people do it. I'm not a worrier when it comes to worrying about what other people think. Honestly, I do care, but for the most part, as much as it affects me, I'm pretty comfortable with who I am, and I don't worry about what other people think too much. But I see other people just fret and fuss and worry, oh my gosh, this person thinks that and this, and they can't sleep, and I don't do that, and I don't think it's healthy. And if you're somebody who has worried a lot about what others think, maybe time to start looking at self-help books, counseling, other types of behavior modification that can help you, because you're the one that's worrying. You're the one that's taking all that in and creating stress and having it affect you and your health. So if you are interested in learning about those things, there's a lot of things out on the internet, on, different kinds of, like I said, self-help books, maybe even some counseling to learn how to manage stress from worrying about other people. And number 10 on my list is probably one of the most important things, and that is avoid not nurturing your friendships. Continue to nurture your friendships. Many people stop working on friendships and taking care of the needs they have to have friends and interact with others after they stop working. And I've seen it with many people, and all of a sudden they end up by themselves. And if you're not somebody who has a lot of friends or, has not nurtured or cultivated friendships, you can always do it as you get older. There's all kinds of clubs, there's internet things. If you're not somebody who gets out much, there's things you can do online, there's book clubs, there's, just all kinds of things. Even just your local senior center offers, who knows what they offer, all kinds of bingo and canasta and workout things, whatever your interests are. And I would just encourage you not to let those things go by the wayside. Continue to nurture those friendships, because along with family, friendships are extremely important. So thank you for watching me today. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like or a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you're not a subscriber, and I'd love to have you as part of the Homestead Patch family. So thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye-bye.